Hey, what is going on, guys? Computer Surgeon here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how we can use and install different types of operating systems and run them on our Mac. Now, we are going to be using a program for this, and unfortunately this program is not free. The only way to really remote into a system for free using a different operating system is to use SSH, and you can boot into a virtual machine that may be installed on a server on your network or something else. But this is honestly one of the best programs for Mac if you want to use and operate different types of operating systems on your Mac. So I'm going to go to my applications, and right now you are going to see an application called Parallels Desktop, and this is what we're going to be using. If you guys want to check out the link in the video description to learn a little bit more about why you might be spending $70 on this, you can go ahead and do that. But as you guys will see here, I have 3 virtual machines. This one is actually not good at all, so I need to delete that here in a little bit. But I have Chromium OS and Windows 10, and these are the 2 that I use most often. You can go ahead, if you create a new one up here, you guys will see that you can create a bunch of different virtual machines for modern IE test environments: Chromium, Ubuntu, Android, and Fedora, and CentOS, as well as Debian Linux. So if you know what Linux is, go ahead and install that, mess around with it. If you don't know what it is, go ahead and install it anyways, because it's a virtual machine and you're not hurting anything or anybody by installing it and checking it out. But like I said, I am currently running Chromium OS and Windows 10, and they make this insanely easy to set up and use and everything. So I'm going to show you guys how, if you would like to, if we can go ahead and download Windows 10, and this is completely free. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little bit how it works, and then we will go over these setups. So I have Windows 10 already pre-installed on here. Funny thing though is that I got this ISO on Microsoft's website completely free. So if you're thinking that you need to pay for the Windows license as well as Parallels, you are actually false or wrong, and you do not have to do this, which is really nice. As you guys will see here, it's asking me to activate Windows and go to settings to activate it because I haven't activated it, but I can still use it completely legit. I have not had any issues with running any kinds of scripts or really doing anything on here. But this is your standard Windows desktop. Obviously, if you've ever used Windows before, which I'm assuming 99.9% of you have, you'll know exactly what this is. And as you guys will see, I am still running this on my Mac, so I can, use my Mac as I would normally do it, and I can also use different tools on the Windows machine that I'm using. So if I want to, run a terminal or something on here to perform actions that I normally couldn't on a Windows or on a Mac, then obviously I would do that. And a lot of people argue as to why maybe I would get a Mac if I planned on using Windows on it anyways. Since I'm a software developer, it's really easy for me to use this program and test different types of applications that I might develop across multiple platforms or operating systems to make sure that they are all the same and they perform the same, and there's no issues across platforms or anything that I have written may perform different on an operating system. So that's why I do it. You guys may need this for something else. Let's say you have a Mac and you need to run a program for college that you can't run on a Mac, which I've actually had happen before. This came in really handy, and I was able to do anything that I would normally do on a Windows machine on here. So I'm going to show you guys how we can get the Windows 10 ISO for free. If you're not sure what an ISO is, it is a disk image file that basically houses the entire Windows operating system on it. It's just a file that contains all the scripts needed to run Windows 10. So go ahead and go to google.com and just type in Windows 10 ISO download free and click the first link. Make sure it's the Microsoft one, otherwise you could end up downloading something that isn't as great. But go ahead and scroll down, and we are going to select the edition, and this is going to be the Windows 10 Creators Update, which is what I have been using ever since I can remember installing this application. Select your language, whichever one you speak or would like your operating system to run in, and then we are going to select the 64-bit download. I'm going to assume that everybody has the 64-bit download unless you're running some kind of ancient dinosaur machine that still runs 32-bit applications. So go ahead and click that. I'm not going to because I already have it installed, but I'm going to show you guys how we can run through the basic setup process. You will see that it is a 4 gig file. Mine's going to take 2 hours, which is exactly why I'm not going to download it. But I'm going to show you guys how we can do this anyways. So I am going to just really quick create a fake ISO file so I can show you guys how to create this. So I'm just going to save this as Windows fakeos.iso. Save that to my desktop, and then we can go ahead and click the new button up here, and then in the Parallels wizard, go ahead and click Install Windows or other OS from a DVD or image file. Now, if you already have Windows 10, you can go ahead and get this, or if you want to transfer Windows from a PC, you can do this. I've never used either or. I just downloaded the ISO and used it directly from there, so I'm not sure how any of these work. I would highly recommend, if you want to do it this way and get Windows 10 for free, go ahead and do it this way. But go ahead and click Install Windows or another OS from a DVD or image file, click Continue, and then you can just drag your ISO file right in here and then click Continue. It may not detect the operating system, but we can go ahead, click Next, and select Windows 10. Now, if you wanna, you can go ahead and try out any of these operating systems, or you could check out Windows Server, or really any others like Windows 3.11, which is insanely old, or 95 or 98, or whichever one you would like, as well as a few other Linux ones, and they also offer a few others in here like Solaris, or OpenSolaris, or MS-DOS, or really whatever else. But I'm going to be using Windows 10 for the purpose of this video. I'm going to click Continue, and I'm going to hit Software Development because that's what I'm using it for. I don't really think this matters, but I'm going to go ahead and stop there, because if I run this, it's going to go in an infinite loop when it tries to boot to the network, because it's not going to detect a boot device for me, so obviously it's not going to start Windows 10. But if you just follow the instructions through, you should be able to download Windows 10 with no problem. After this, it's just going to go up through the setup options, ask you a few things, and you can just select whichever pertains to you, and you should be good. So once you've gone through all the setup options, you will see this here in the control center, and then you can just go ahead and start the virtual machine. It may go through a few setup options before you start it, but you should be good to go with that once you do this. Now, the setup may be a little bit different for something like Chromium. I know it was a little bit different, as well as these other, like 7 or 8 that they offer for free. But like I said, guys, that's basically about it for this program. It's really cut and dry. It's really simple to set these up, and it's really cool to kind of test out different operating systems if you've never tried it out before, especially when you're running this all on a Mac. But like I said, guys, that's basically it for this video. This program is really cut and dry, not very hard to use. I just figured I would make a video on it because some people could really benefit from being able to run multiple operating systems on their Mac if they choose to. It does come at around $70 for this program, but like I said, you're getting a lot for your money, and it's really cool. And you can also try out the 14-day free trial. If you're not sure about the program just yet, you can test things out. And if you don't like it, obviously you don't have to buy it, which is really nice. So that's about it for this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content from me. If you guys want to see a specific video from me, make sure you comment in the section below. I can really do anything in tech. That is pretty much my job at work. So make sure you guys comment if you haven't seen something and you want to see it from me, and I will do my best to get that video out there as soon as possible. But that's it for this video. Peace out, and thanks for watching.